Good morning. How are you this fine Saturday?
Well, it's looking fine. I'm checking you out. I'm checking you out. It's pretty doggone good. Pretty doggone good. We got a lot to talk about today. Um, let's go first with what today's topic is about. Viewer censorship is what today's topic is about. Yeah, something to think about. So, how was your week?
Good. Work as usual. But I took it
Your
easy
work
this
was
week.
good.
Huh?
Your hair looked the same when you started work as when you finished it. Cause I be having
Sometimes. Look, you can tell I had a real frazzled day sometimes. I'll be like, listen. But for the most part, it was pretty good this week.
okay, okay. That's how I have. I'll go in everything, edges back, looking fine. Get off work by morning, look like a first grader after recess. Okay, they're like, "Oh, how was your day?"
You can kind of tell how my day
It was
was.
a day. Check out my do, and then you'll be able to see. The reason I chose viewer censorship is because of what is going on with Whoopi Goldberg and why are they attacking her?
They're always attacking Whoopi. What is going on?
Shall we go a little deeper?
Yes, yes.
I was looking, I was like, are they trying? It's giving the vibe of let's get her out of here. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting let's get her up out of here. We need new and fresh, whatever. It's just odd. Um, and this time, if you guys don't know, I'll just touch base a little bit. You guys can check it out later. She used the word jip. They'd be like, you jip me, you robbed
Yeah.
me off.
So now they censoring that word.
They're censoring that word now. And they say it comes from gypsy. I just learned this stuff. That's like,
Don't nobody call a gypsy gyp. We call them gypsy.
well, the Romanian people may, in Romania, somebody got offended by it. Right. And right. Like,
So now we got cancel culture. All it's like just cancel everything.
well, you know what I think? I think with all of these words, and this is just my thoughts. Let's make sure. Look, let's put up that
Oh
disclaimer.
yeah.
Let's put up the disclaimer. Thank you very much. Viewer and listener discretion advised, and content is alleged. Okay, let's
Right.
throw that up there. I feel like, me personally, it's almost like, oh, okay, well, we can't use the N word. Nobody can use this word either. Trying to like level it, kind of bring it down. That's just my thoughts. And I'm like, why are we doing this? Why? And the way that the way that she used it, if you check into her context clues, if you guys remember that, probably don't, because they probably don't teach that anymore. But we'll get a little deeper into what's being removed from the schools a little later in the show. It wasn't meant in a derogatory way. You ripped me off, whatever. Anyway, they're saying it came from gypsy, but do you know what a gypsy is? Or just your thoughts of a gypsy. We're not gonna go with Webster. We talk, okay?
Like growing up, gypsies will rip you off. Some of them. Okay. Some of them they're called. It's in their culture to like steal and things like that. So
Move from place to place.
and exactly, and they once they use their resources, they move to the next.
Now
Good.
watch this. I didn't even realize where the word gyp came from until her. So I guess we got something out of it. I didn't realize where it came from until this whole thing came out. Then I started thinking, I was like, oh, wait, gypsy. I was like, oh, and then I started thinking about, oh, that's what gypsies do. One thing, and it's like, okay, you cut it down and you make it into a air quotes for the listening audience, slang term. And that's
Mm-hmm.
here. And we are offended. I was like, oh my gosh, we're not going to do this. That's why I had to I was like, nah, we got to do viewer censorship. It's just too much going on. Back to what Chris Rock, the name of his special, Selective Outrage. Somebody somewhere is going to be offended. Somebody somewhere is going to be offended. And he said that at the beginning of his show. And here's the problem. If this is the silly part, I was looking at the comments below, like on the YouTube channel, and he put there that some people will be offended. And I put that on there too. I was like, well, he did give you a disclaimer. And then you have that one person, well, it's still not right. Okay. Turn it off, change the channel.
Right.
All that other good stuff. Can we do anything?
It's almost like they're trying to remove freedom of speech, because now with all the censorship we know that freedom of speech amendment is no longer. So why is it still an amendment? Like, if you're going to censor everything we say, that is not freedom of speech.
It's not, and that's where we have to keep on going. Just change your channel. That's all I put.
Yeah. Like, don't like what's said.
Family Guy and all of them. Viewer discretion advised. Like, it's here. Nobody's the same. If we all were cookie cutters, then we'd understand it. But we're not. And trying to make people robots and like come from one cookie cutter. This is who you are, and this is what we're gonna do. We got to get a little bit better. Got to get a little bit better. I see your boy out there rallying. He's starting up his rally right now.
Oh,
I'll tell you in a minute. Let's get this show started.
Everything that happens is motivation.
All right. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning, lovely people.
Okay. If you're just joining in, today's topic is viewer censorship. Let's get on to what we're going to get on to. Sierra's dress.
You see what I put on Facebook? I said what I said.
You're not, because I don't be on there, and the listeners don't know you like that to be on there.
Okay.
So tell me, what did you put on Facebook? Wait.
Basically,
Let's bring it back. If you guys don't know what we're talking about the dress that Sierra wore. Sierra wore a dress to the post-Oscars after party. And it was a black dress or swimsuit cover-up, whatever you want to call it. She wore it and people had an issue with it. But let me give you this information. The theme of this after party was called Barely There. Okay, so that was the theme, Barely There. So then there, with that being said, you had viewers asking the question, well, how do you think her husband felt? So I asked, ma'am, how do you think her husband felt standing next to her, pose with her?
Thank you. Wasn't he there? This is my issue. And everybody, well, that's thoughtish, and she for the streets. That don't mean she for the streets. She with her husband. That man has been good to her, taking care of a child that don't belong to him, plus the two that they got to get. Let me explain something to you people. She was not the only person wearing something barely there showing things, and she had nipple covers. Some folks did not. The point of the matter is that is a grown woman that is not in any of our tax bracket. So what we need to do is mind our pay grade and stay out them rich folks' business. It was a party. She was not the only one. She was wearing something that obviously her husband approved of and okayed. Otherwise, she wouldn't award her. They wouldn't have been there. Her husband was okay with it. And yes, she's a mother, and she's a wife, and she's a mother. She's the mother of his children. She is his wife. He obviously had no problem. Why do we have a problem with what this grown ass woman, excuse me, Belle, was wearing? We're not in the same pay grade. That ain't none of our business. And somebody was like, it is our business because we were going this Facebook group I was in, they going back and forth. That is our business because we basically pay her salary. Baby, I don't pay nothing. I
Because I
listen
need
to
my
her.
man album.
Exactly. Thank you. I listen to her music on the radio. And I like some of her stuff. But am I paying to buy it? No, I'm not. So I'm not paying nobody's salary. I'm not. I'm not paying her salary. But regardless, she a grown woman. But why weren't they attacking some of them other folks? And some of them wasn't nothing up underneath their dresses. Okay, not a nothing. Wasn't covering nothing. Angelina Jolie was showing everything. There was a couple people showing everything. But why is it always an issue when we do something? Like, why?
Do you think it was the people of the Black Twitter
It was
people?
the Black Twitters that was tearing her up. But guess what? The Black Twitters need to sit down because guess what, baby? Last time I checked, wasn't none of it. Wasn't those that were talking and had an issue. We not in the same tax bracket. So shut up.
Now I'm gonna say this to the tax bracket that you talked about. I know a whole lot of folk that ain't in their tax bracket that will wear that.
Exactly. And I brought that up too. And I said there's a lot of people that wear things that they don't got no business wearing because they don't got the body or the shape for it.
Now here's my thing that was interesting. I said they asking about her husband. Here you have people minding other folks' business, just as Derek Clark of Facebook posted. He was like, people need to mind their business.
Exactly.
There's a grown man standing next to his wife, talking about how does her husband feel? Her husband clearly feel okay because he's standing next to that because her body is banging.
Thank you.
And I felt like it was like a swimsuit. You know what I mean? I was like, it looked like a cover up. I didn't like the dress itself. It wasn't anything special.
Right.
She went with the theme. She knew the assignment and she did just that.
And she wasn't the only one that went with the thing. That's the thing.
And that was the thing. She wasn't. And it was a whole lot of other people. Here's the thing. Did you see any outrage on that? Back to
nope.
Chris Rock said
that's it. Outrage, yeah.
Selective outrage. So we are so hard on our own, and it's like that ain't none of our business. Now you
right,
said,
but listen to this though. The group I was in, there was men chiming in. Yeah, she for the streets. I wouldn't let my wife. First of all, you ain't letting that. What you mean you wouldn't let?
Wait. Let me finish my point. We tend to project what we feel on people and say how somebody should be. Well, if this is the land of the free, why? You want to be free. You want to make your own decisions, but you want to tell somebody else what they can and cannot do. You say that she is for the streets, it don't matter. How, and I'm not calling her a hoe, but how often have you heard, well, you know who that was that said you can't make a hoe a housewife, but I'm not calling Sierra a hoe. I want to put that out there.
Mm-hmm.
People that they say was for the streets, but they sure got their husbands.
Exactly.
And to
like
my point, I got you, Nick. To my point is you don't even know her. And how can you say she for the streets? And who cares about how her husband feel? Let him say something. Can we ask the questions to them? Can we ask them the question? That's where my issue is at. And then they had it where she with Future. And it makes me wonder, are you upset? Are you upset because she had a child with somebody, and this is public knowledge, who wasn't there for her child, allegedly? And you want her to just have baby daddies? But she got a good husband, allegedly, because we don't know on the inside. We don't know these people. Reminder. And then you're saying what she did to her husband. He didn't look like he minded at all.
Oh, listen, we was going back and forth. These men was calling him a simp. What you mean he a simp? No, he's not a simp. He's not insecure like you are. Because you're voicing your insecurities right here this man is very secure with his wife, in his marriage, and in himself. Because if he wasn't, like I said, she wouldn't be wearing that dress. They wouldn't have gone to that party. And well, he looks miserable. How do you know that's his miserable look? That's his serious look to me. He don't look miserable to me. And then another uh what you want to call them, I don't know, somebody that got their own little show or whatever they got blog going on, posting pictures. She had something to say too, and I ain't even gonna give her no shine,
Say what you gotta say though.
but she posted a picture of them in church with him on his knees praying, kneeling, and boy, he was praying like this on his knees, and she was standing next to him with her hands open like this, praying. And then they put the picture of them doing the side by side. Mind your business. That's all I got.
You know what? Go ahead and read. I want you to read this comment. Go ahead.
Don Queener Jr. of Facebook said, "Why are we worried about things that doesn't affect us?" Exactly.
Here's what's interesting when you say that picture and they praying. Did they have clothes in the beginning?
And that's what somebody else brought up too. They said Adam and Eve didn't have no clothes on. The only reason that we got shamed was because of whatever Eve did, whatever. But in the beginning,
whatever Eve did or whatever. Look, you're looking like, okay, wait, this is looking like she Eve. But go ahead.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like in the beginning, we did not wear clothes, and you know what? We're the only ones. Like other countries, they are fine with nudity. They show stuff like that on television. We're the only one that, like you said, censorship. Like we're the only ones that have a problem with it. Other countries don't. And in the beginning, Adam and Eve didn't have clothes on. So what's the problem? I just listen. I'm gonna need people to mind their business that actually pays them.
Okay.
That actually pays their bills, because minding them two rich folks' business ain't paying your bills. It's just getting you frustrated.
Here's what's interesting when you brought up the church. I saw there was a lot of church people that had to chime in on that. But if you go to the beach, now see, this is where I'm at. You go to the beach, it's okay to wear that. She goes to a after party that is themed Barely There, and they take a picture of her. And like you said, there were other folks non-melanated. Where's theirs?
Even the melanated ones.
It's us attacking us on somebody else's business. That's his wife. That's their issue. Do we go behind it? Clearly he okayed it. He was standing there. I'm not mad. Her body is the bomb. Could it have been something like she got another line coming out? It could be anything. But I just thought it was really strange that you have people judging what somebody else is wearing. How often? Think about. Let's rewind it about 10 years. How often have we looked and it was something that we wouldn't wear? We go to a party, we'd be like, "Oh, risky."
All the time.
Now we're telling people, "Oh, you can't wear this, and she shouldn't wear this." Selective outrage all day long. I'm using air quotes, Chris Rock. If you happen to be watching the show, don't come. If you coined it, coined that phrase. But it's like, so you are looking like, okay, well, I wouldn't wear that. She wore it. All right. And then you claim to be non-judgmental. Okay. If you see that there's a problem, Bible banger, and I'm gonna put it out there. If you see that there's a problem, go on and pray for the child. You know what I'm saying? Well, the grown woman, pray for her. But to sit there and slander her and beat her down and be judgmental, okay? Say, "Oh, we're not judgmental." That's why people ain't coming to Christ. If you see that there's an issue, if she walked in the church like that, was not a beach. If she walked in the church like that, put her in the overflow. Go throw her one of the choir robes on, if they still had that, because people wearing the skin tight dresses, but ain't nobody saying nothing about that. Doing booty shots. Okay, at the house you doing booty shots, but you at church praising the Lord. Come on, what's the difference here?
There is no difference. Like, if somebody brought up, well, that would be okay. It wouldn't. It will. Why do you have an issue with her wearing that? That would be, you wouldn't have an issue if she was at the beach. Well, because she wasn't at the beach, and your point would be she was at a themed party. Like everything you mentioned there was an argument for all of that, and my solution to that one is we are not in the same tax bracket as that woman. Y'all mind y'all business, because there are several people, and these young girls out here wearing tight stuff, big girls with their stomachs out and everything else, and just like,
She
but
might be doing a workout tape, and I'm dating myself talking about a workout tape, sweating to the oldies or something. Shout out to you, Richard Simmons. You know what I
right,
mean?
but like, yeah, like these people got an issue with stuff, but like some of y'all seem to forget all them bones that's buried in your closet, including church folks. But that's what I'm saying. You can't be talking about nobody, what they wearing, what they doing, because what are you doing that ain't nobody seeing?
Now I'm gonna come from another angle, and my other angle is I'm not going to tell you did something wrong because you accuse somebody else of doing something wrong and it has not been exposed. Because my bones, they all out. I don't even know if I even got bones because I talk too much.
Right, y'all tell everything.
But I'm speaking for me. If the girl want to do that, there's ways around it. Let her do what she want to do. I have seen things, and here's what's interesting. We used to go to a spot where it was a pajama jam, and the pajama jam, these people were like, no, but it was a pajama jam, pajamas that you would probably wear for your man at home. I'm not risky enough to do that. I went in there looking like Hugh Hefner. I had a smoking jacket and snacks. You know what I'm saying? I went in there that way. But to each his own.
Right.
How am I gonna tell you what you can do? I just was like, whoa. But guess what I did? I took some pictures because it was disgraceful. I took pictures because baby was bad. I was like, whoa, you got to see this. Like, this is off the hook. But what's happening is now things that were in the bedroom or private are made public with the social media, and the people that's having the issue, the selective outrage, seem to be with our people and not with other people who actually wore something a lot worse. Amber, do you want to read the comment? Weigh in.
Oh, sorry. I was struggling with the mute button. So Don Queener Jr. of Facebook said, now you understand that when there are two or more people present, it's church.
I like that. I like that. Point taken.
Exactly.
That's a sad thing. That's a sad thing. So to my point, if you're in your bedroom, boom. But I don't know, people be having threesomes.
Listen.
Church then? AmberDee, I want you to weigh on Sierra's dress.
I feel like I've seen worse, because I feel like J-Lo did it with her dress like 20 years ago. Like, that's how this, like, okay, she's butt naked, basically. Yes, she is, but I mean, J-Lo did it. Beyonce did it with her lace see-through dress several times. And it's just been done before. I mean, I can understand it's like avant-garde, and she has a beautiful body, but
she's cold.
She's cold. She got a cold body. So, I mean, yeah, but it's not nothing like, oh, I've never seen anything like this. Like, come on.
Go to a new beach. Go to a new beach. You go see everything.
You ain't going to find that at a new beach.
Of course not.
I'm with Amber. Yes, it has been done before. And it has been done the other day at the after party. It wasn't just her, but it seems like it's us who are getting on ours. Now, I understand, it's like, well, maybe they don't know. And as a air quotes, let's go Monique, auntie, you need to let them know what's right or what's wrong. And as Nick the Voice said on Shop Talk, that's a different tax bracket. Y'all mind y'all business. That girl doing what it is that she want to do. And here's the thing. She's doing exactly what she needs to do because she ain't putting no music out. She's staying relevant. So here you have a celebrity. That's what we do. We talk about the celebrities. But it's funny to talk about all of them.
In the outfit. was from her and her husband's fashion line that I guess they got out.
See what
Okay.
I know?
That makes
I was just
sense.
talking to her because I'm thinking that she about to have a workout tape because her thighs was the bomb. Her legs was cold.
I ain't gonna lie, if I had a body like that, I would wear that too. And what?
Okay, right. I ain't even mad at her.
I ain't wearing that.
52, yes, I would.
I see it. But you know what? I've always been the same. I'm pretty consistent. Now, somebody else would, I'd be like, oh, they cold. I just wasn't bold enough. Now, Rugal, he would tell y'all back in the day that like, even, being smaller, I had a cover up. But he said that he used to say, yeah, y'all used to come to the pool with nightgowns on. But I am still one who I'm uncomfortable with people looking at my butt. I'm just I'm just uncomfortable. Some people, they do it. I'm like, go ahead, girl, get it. Me personally, not that there's anything wrong. And it don't matter what it looked like because I ain't about to give you no description.
I know that's right.
But I've just always been that way. Was it being brought up that way? I don't know. You know what I mean? Probably not like like if you wore leggings, you covered your butt. Now that I know I was brought up that way. Because remember back when they leggings, now they used to be called stretch pants and stirrups. But now we're doing the leggings and people are out in public with it. But now that I was brought up, you wore a long shirt and you had your it was like a little circle thing on the side to pull your, or tied in a knot on the side, but your butt was covered. But you couldn't go to school like that. And I was in school. You couldn't go to school with that type of stuff on. Now you could go to school like that. You couldn't wear headscarves to school.
Now they wearing all that.
Girl, you couldn't even wear a headscarf to work unless it was a religious belief. Now, listen, when you wear the bonnet to the job I be seeing some stuff. I work night shift, but we're not going to bed and you got a bonnet on at the job, walking around like taking. I ain't gonna say where I work at, but for real, you about to hop in the bed with them? And I said, and I meant what I said with Tim, TEM, TIM. Them.
WIT.
Yeah.
With them.
Like, come on. And I just find it interesting how things are changing. And it's okay because you don't want to, air quotes for the listening audience, offend anyone.
I feel like it's okay. Like it's okay to be you, but then it's also going to be okay for other people to judge you. Like if someone sees you wearing a bonnet and they think that looks dirty or unkept or like you didn't try, you can continue to wear your bonnet. That's your business. But if it's also someone else's right to say that looks dirty to me.
Point taken. It's true. You wear it out in public. It's okay to be judged in public. I mean, you put it out there for him, just like Dog Queener said. Just like he said, he was with two or more present in his church. Interesting. So now you said, Nick, you said you found that they have a clothing line coming out.
Yeah, that's someone said, that's why I said alleged. That's why I said alleged. But they said that it was people supposedly from.
I'm waiting on. They ain't even got to make up excuses on these people. These people, everybody want to know, well, how her husband, like you said, they're calling her husband a simp. Her husband is okay with it because he's posed with her, and that is his wife. And guess what? You can think, you can lust, you can do whatever you want to do, but this here is mine. The end. Now, some people have an issue because I guess, like you were saying, like a week before, was it a cruise or something? It was like I can't even remember, so don't quote me on it, but you guys can look it up. It was like some event, church event that they were at, and her husband probably the photo that you're talking about,
right?
Over him. But just because she's like that does not mean that she don't believe in Christ. Like you can't
call just because she wore that don't mean she for the streets. She for her husband, who she was with, who is clearly very secure. Like I said, it was the insecure men that were speaking out against it.
Oh yeah, because they was talking about what they was gonna do. it wouldn't have been their
And
wife.
then there was several very secure men who was like, I don't see a problem with it. And if that was my wife and if that was the theme of the party and that's what she wore, I'm okay with it because that's my wife
Now
and I'm with her.
Now let me say something. I have some people that I know very well, and I remember her husband used to buy her the sexy stuff to put on, and we would go out, and she was cold. He was the one that was buying it.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Okay, so one, I feel like there is like a hate train for Sierra ever since she got with Russell Wilson because the community feels like she's supposed to be irredeemable and she would never supposed to uplift beyond baby mama status or something. And then for two, I definitely can relate to that because that was my experience. Like when I was married, like we would go shopping together and we talked about this, like dressing your spouse. Like I would pick out my husband's clothes, but my husband also picked out my clothes. And I definitely wore some, risque things, but he literally picked them out for me. He's like, oh, you look good in this. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's just like, why are you worrying about what married people are doing?
Okay. Nick, go ahead. You want to go to the comment?
Yes, Don Queener Jr. of Facebook said they are not raised like we were raised. Where's the line? Exactly. Like
and you do have those people. You do have those people whereas we're raised this way, and then there's people that are raised other ways. So you can just sit there and be like, okay, this is where it's supposed to be. Aunties, yes, don't stop talking, aunties. I want to put that out there. If y'all feel as though that there's an issue, don't stop talking. Do what you feel you need to do. And then the person the recipient of what you're saying, it's up to them to decide to be who they are. And when I say be who they are, that's why I say find you, embrace you, and love you, and not be making you to be. Not only in this case, because if it's not you and one of your friends, peer pressure still happens as an adult, which is so strange.
Yeah, it does.
But I noticed that it does. Not somebody else talking you into wearing something that you're clearly uncomfortable with. Not saying Sierra isn't, but if you're uncomfortable with it and somebody's talking you into it, if you're not comfortable, just be like, no, that's just not what I'm trying to do. And if you are, auntie, this is what I'm doing. Thank you. Deal or no deal. Like
right.
It's gonna be as long as they are being them and not harming.
Exactly.
Now I'm with AmberDee. I want to go to her point when she was saying how they keep going for Sierra. And they want her to be baby mama status. And it's almost like I was saying earlier in the show, it's like she evolved, like what happened? She didn't stay where you were at. Like, what's the problem?
And I think that and it's from women and men in the community. Like there's this idea, and I feel like because and a big part of this is the out of wedlock birth rate in the Black community. It's like, oh well, once you have a child out of wedlock, you're worthless, and that's like the going narrative. And it's like, well, she's bucked that narrative, and it's just like, oh, we have to take her down, and every opportunity that we have to bring her down a peg, we have to make sure we humble her because there's an obsession with humbling Black women. But I think it's just because she made some poor choices, because it wasn't just Future, it was multiple dudes, but she made some poor choices in dating and then got pregnant.
She only got a souvenir with Future, though.
Right. Yeah, she got a souvenir with Future, but she dated some other problematic men too. And then she kind of went through a transformation or whatever, and now she's living her best life with her wonderful husband. And people are mad about that.
See, and that's wild. And you're right, out of wedlock, and they do that means something. When you say, because they do classify you as a baby mama when you don't have a husband and you have a child. I think I talked to you guys about that. One lady was like, oh, this is so-and-so's baby mama. I said, ex-wife.
Right.
I was let's get it clear. I'm not a baby mama. I'm an ex-wife. Like,
yeah, definitely.
But there is a difference. And some people didn't realize that there was a difference with the baby mama. It's like, oh, okay, baby mama. No, and I don't like the mama. I don't like the mama. I don't. Mother. Mother. Like,
right. And I feel like even with my own situation, like when people were saying that Lauren London was a widow, I said, no, she wasn't. Sorry. She's not a widow because he ain't married her. Sorry. So she's not a widow. Yeah.
I'm like, educate us. Okay.
Exactly. Amber speaking from experience. She's the widow. Lauren London is not. She was just the dedicated girlfriend.
A girlfriend. But you know how that goes, a girlfriend, and then in the obituary they put fiance, and then nobody know that they was proposed to. Yes. Yeah. You already know. You go to somebody, you be like, oh, they used to go together, and you can think back years, be like, oh, fiance, I didn't even know that
they was engaged.
Yeah. Like, the world. I told my mother, I remember back then, I said, something happened to me, don't put no fiance down, because I ain't proposed to nobody. Ain't nobody proposed to me. You know. Right. Like, come on. And that, you know, we was younger too. I was like, fiance. Girl, just go to the funeral home and get your slip to go back.
Listen, I have been to
don't even have that to get off work. Go ahead.
I've been to funerals where they put fiance and old boy was still married. Huh? But his wife, fiance. Right. Okay. They my stuff. That's very messy.
Very messy.
Very. The whole funeral was messy. It was like, yeah, the family was being messy, and yeah, okay.
It was entertaining though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, AmberDee, you want to read the comment?
Okay, so Nathan W of YouTube said it's the next Will and Jada situation.
That's what they trying to make it, but we gonna stop it right here.
But wasn't Will cheating on Jada first? Like when Independence Day came out and all that, like he was really starting to blow up. He started cheating on her first.
Okay, let's say this. We don't know their relationship. Look, we don't know their relationship. Here's the problem. I don't know too many people who cheat and voice it to the public. They tell their friend. Look, they tell their friend, and one person told, look, what is it? You had to tell Karen. She told Cheryl. The story goes on just like a wheelbarrow. Karen told Didi what she thought she heard. You know, big.
Listen, they allegedly had an open
telling the information versus somebody coming out. So I don't think it's like a Will and Jada situation. That's just me personally, because we are saying what we think. He was standing next to her, so he was cool with it, to my understanding. How do you know that's their relationship? And nobody has asked him, or if they did, he ain't speaking. He ain't got to tell us strangers what's going on and how he feels.
Yeah, that's their business.
He looked dang good next to her, real talk. And he might have been a third in school. He'd be like, look what I got.
Exactly.
And I feel like it's not just him, but I feel like men in general perceive that differently. And I do feel like the men that are like, my wife would never wear anything like that. It's like they're probably not married, or maybe their wife doesn't have that kind of a body, or you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of men who have quote unquote trophy wives, or wives that they're in love with, they think they're the best thing since sliced bread. They want to show their wife off. Right. There's a lot of men who have that perspective.
Nick, go ahead, read the comment, please.
Nathan W from YouTube said it's not the cheating side.
Okay.
He's talking about the comparison too.
Okay. He finished it. Go ahead, Nick.
It's the energy.
Oh, so they thinking that she running him.
Yeah, the Dom versus the sub. Right, exactly.
Well, I feel like
Go ahead.
But I don't think so.
Would you say, AmberDee?
I mean, I could see it, but that doesn't mean I don't think she's a dom and he's a sub. I just think there's a lot of relationships where what works for them is that the woman kind of wears the pants. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of relationships where you're on the outside looking in and you're like, oh, she runs him. She wears the pants in that relationship. And she probably do, but it works for them. and they're together and seem to be happy and content. So again, what's the problem?
Exactly. But then that's when insecure men like to say, oh, so and so is a simp. No, you're just insecure. Because
Yeah.
obviously he's secure in his position if he is a sub, and he may not be. He may look like that from the outside, but he may be the very dominant. It's just that man is secure in his manhood and secure in his relationship with his wife. The one that, like, you know what they say, a hit dog will holler.
Mm.
That's what it seems like with most of them that was talking mess. They are very insecure, so insecurities coming out. They're gonna voice their insecure opinion. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, I definitely agree. I just feel like with everything going on right now in the world and in my life, I just can't be that pressed about someone else's marriage, especially when it doesn't appear to be toxic. It doesn't appear to be abusive. Everything seems to be consensual. So it's not my business. So
Exactly.
I feel about it,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We got too many outsiders minding grown married folks' business, and especially those that are not married and have not been, but they love minding married folks' business. Man, go sit down somewhere and try to get you a husband or a wife. And if that's not what you want, then shut up with your opinion on others' husbands and wives.
And I feel like these men, they don't. I feel like another reason why they're so critical of Sierra is because they could never pull a woman like Sierra, and it's like, oh, what is it? It's a strategy of like, oh, I'm gonna act like, since there's no possibility of getting it, I'm gonna act like I never wanted it, type of attitude. But I think it's very weird because my first thought was, okay, she's butt naked, but that's what celebrities do, so. I didn't think nothing of her dress.
See, here we go. Somebody thinking like me. Go ahead. Either one of you.
So Don Queener Jr. of Facebook said he was not cool. He was hurt to his core. It will never be the same. Women can let it go. We can't. It's our failure.
Men sure can't let it go, because I swear that's in the situation that but men can't let it go. It's okay if you do it, and I'm supposed to forgive you.
Oh, I thought he was gonna say something different.
Nah, that's what I guess the will is thing.
Not cool for him. I didn't see that he had a problem with it. He was standing next to her. Why would you even stand next to somebody if you? Let me say this, and I'm not calling him a simp at all. I'm not. Why would you go? I'm not going. If I don't like what you have on, I'm not going.
Exactly.
I'm like, you can go ahead and look crazy on your own. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just me. I'm not going. And yes, I like to dress for my dudes. I like them to look fabulous. I like other women to want them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And I feel like fundamentally, these people that are so critical, it's like, you must not have the person you're with, you're not proud of, and you don't want to show off, or that you can never pull somebody you want to show off. Because when my husband was like, he was a good looking man, okay, and I was like, yeah, that's mine. Don't get it twisted. So yeah, why would you not want your spouse to look fabulous,
or to walk up? Let him sit there. Yeah. You admiring him. I see you admiring him. Okay, let me get the walk up. Let me get the walk up. For the listening audience, you fix your clothes and then you're like, okay, and the walk up.
Right.
And then the introduction.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I don't want somebody nobody else wants. I've just always been that girl.
Right, okay. Exactly.
Because if I got to go and reevaluate myself.
Right. Exactly. I'm choosing from the bottom.
Right. Like, what's wrong with my decisions? Hold on a minute. Like,
that's one problem I've never had. I've always had somebody that the others wanted, but the problem with that is the others wanted and sometimes the others got.
Now that's where the problem is at.
While we still together. Huh? Like,
That's where the problem actually is. Nate, weigh in. What's your thoughts on it from a male perspective?
First of all, forgive me for being late.
Don't worry about that. It's a show. Keep going. Tell me your perspective
about the Russell Wilson. It's the energy. How many of you on the stage have dated a Russell Wilson? Take away the money.
Looks wise?
I mean, just that type of person.
Me?
You have? How'd that work out for you?
I think I have to. Yeah.
How'd it work out for you?
Lord, I was getting ready to cuss. It cheated.
You seem to have that problem, but I mean, here's the thing.
Wait. Let me. I can barely hear you, Nate, but I want to answer that question, and I know it's going to be to your point. But let me say, I did date a Russell Wilson from what we know, looking up, and he asked me to marry him, and you know what my response was?
Yeah, you don't have a ring on now.
No. I had rings on. My hands are just swollen. But let me say, that's why I had to take them out. The prednisone killing me, man. I'm telling you. But anyway, it's making me live. But you know what I mean. I told him when he asked me to marry him, I was like, "Oh, I'm going to Freaknik this weekend." Well, yeah, it was the truth. That's what happened. And that's why I'm like, to your point. I was going to Freaknik that weekend. I was like, I'm in college. Like, no, I'm going to Freaknik.
There is no way.
He's a great husband. Listen, he's a great husband. We are still great friends. And
he aboard you silly.
I don't think so now.
He would have now because you done been through the rain. You done been through the rain. But there's no way.
I was kicking it.
Okay, watch this. There's no way a Russell Wilson would get her without the fame and the money. She would not ever walk up to a dude like that and be like, "I choose you." You've seen her choices in the past. And I'm not saying keep her in Amish wear, but you don't do that. Our kids are watching. Our grandkids will be like, "Look, Grandma was a thought." That stuff is online.
It's about what you think. It's about how you feel.
I just got a call from all the men, and they told me this is how we think.
No.
Go ahead.
How many married women you know? How many married friends do you guys have?
We got to go to the comment. Go ahead.
Okay, so 100 Cherie Childcare of YouTube said, "I swear, I wear whatever I want, honestly. If anything, at minimum, match my swag, but stay true to yourself."
Is she single or married? Ask her if she's single or married. Ask her if she's
Are you single or married, Cherie?
The people want to know. The people want to know.
Yeah,
no, they want to know.
The people.
We'll see. We're gonna see if she's single or married. We're gonna see.
Okay, so she said, "Cause I'm gonna wear my ... 6-inch heels ... etc. I dress based on the theme most days."
The question is.
Wait, we gotta go to this comment. Come on, let's get our comment section.
Okay, so Kenyon Barone Chapman of Facebook said, "I agree with him 100%.
Oh, here's the answer to "Is she married?" Listen, here's the answer to "Is she married?"
Okay, and she said, oops, I'm sorry, 1 second. She said, "I'm the one asking questions." Good comeback. I like that.
Really, Kenyon? Let's get back.
DQ, baby. DQ all day, Queener. That's right. Me and Queener typing class. A space. S space.
That is so funny though. So did you we did Kenyon.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Really, Kenyon? Did you weigh in on that? You agree? Why do you agree, man?
Okay, let's see. Okay, let's go to the next comment, then we'll finish our comment.
Undefeated.
Okay, so Kenyon Barone Chapman of Facebook said, "What about staying true to the relationship? What about attracting the wrong attention? What about your husband's reputation?"
Hey, Kenyon.
He ain't worried about his reputation, because if he was, she wouldn't be dressed like that, or they wouldn't be.
But wasn't she dressing like that before? They got
If you go to the wrong fishing pond, you can't go to a trout lake and get mad because you catch trout. If she was to want that type of man like she dressed like that. You don't attract a man dressing like that. Now she got a man who's not as masculine, and he just lets her do what she want to do.
How you know he's not exactly? That's
In
the
the eyes
thing.
of
Right.
men,
Black
in the eyes
folks is good for
in the
like
eyes of men, they're
their.
like, dude, we can't have you and your wife around me and mine.
What you mean we though? That's their
Men,
relationship.
us.
That's
as
what
men.
I'm talking. That's their relationship.
Okay.
Black folks is good for projecting how they feel onto another person.
Well,
You
watch this.
don't know how he feel. He is obviously very secure in his manhood and everything else to be okay with his wife like that.
I want to put 100 down on that's the next Will and Jada. I want my money down, and I want it recorded here. That's the next. I put my money on that.
Documented right here on Shop Talk with Mel. Documented. We got it right here. This is where it's documented at.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lil Nas. Lil Nas is under fire. Lil Nas is under fire because he said that I guess a transgender or somebody transitioning looked like him. Here we go again. Viewer censorship. So they feel as though that's the problem because somebody transitioned and looked like him.
No, if the joke was that he transitioned and he found a girl to look like him. The thing with that is everybody outraged and talking about he's wrong, and he apologized to the transgender, but she thought it was funny. So she didn't have a problem with it.
She was excited. She was excited, but let me say this: I don't know how much of a joke because he apologized.
Because that's like gay, lesbian, and transgender. That's his target audience. So so of course he apologized because we have cancel culture. So,
but he's in that community. So
right. But I don't think it's cancel culture. It's just you're protecting your bottom line. Like if you don't even understand who your fan base is, and then you've offended your fan base, I think it would be due diligence to make amends with your fan base because that's your money. So
why did they feel offended when the actual girl whose picture was?
I got feedback. Somebody's listening to the show at the same time? Is that
let me see. I thought it was you guys.
Let me see. Nope, that's him. Nope. Y'all hear it?
I hear it.
Girl, I've been hearing it and I'm like, is that my stomach? Like, you ain't see me over here study doing this, like, my stomach wrong? But I hear it too.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on.
Okay. Now let's do it. Listen, that's so funny, everybody. Okay, Nick, come off mute. Hello?
Hello.
Okay. Wait, AmberDee, stay on. Stay on, Amber. You know this is a live show. All right, Nate.
Oh, hello. Marco
Y'all hear
Polo.
it? Don't hear it? Y'all hear it?
Amber.
AmberDee.
Can't take you nowhere, AmberDee.
Hey, try to log off and come back on. See if
Okay.
That is so funny. Oh, look.
Can't take her nowhere.
I love the Shop Talk listeners. Go ahead, Nick. You want to go ahead and read the comment?
100 Cherie Child Care from YouTube said, I hear it. I just ate some fruit, frozen blueberries.
Right.
For a minute there, I was like, I know I'm hungry. Is that my stomach? But then I kept hearing it. That's why I keep letting my stomach like,
wait a minute. I'm like, where is that coming from? Yeah. All right, so we got it. So bravo. Thank you, Cherise. 100 Cherie Child Care from YouTube to letting us know. I'm like, that was like driving me nuts. City. I was like, what is that echoing? Must be a speaker or something because I turned all my stuff off and my mics off. I was like, okay, it's not me. So that's where we go with the viewer censorship. It's like, can we ask the people, are they offended? We're offended for them. That ain't cool.
It's well, I don't want to throw it off sin, but this is news. The thing that happened in what Tennessee and Mississippi isn't news, where they're trying to the Willie Lynch laws have been passed.
Oh well, we got that. We're not on that part yet. We're on
Okay,
this.
but I mean, all of this other stuff, you can't teach certain things in school, but this is news. It's sad.
Okay. And it is sad that it's news, but we're gonna go on to the real news. What's happening in Florida? To what you were speaking on. What's happening in Florida?
They're passing the Willie Lynch laws. There's a state in Willie Lynch, and I didn't read into it a lot. It just infuriated me because in that same state, they don't want you to teach what's that, critical race theory. You can't teach critical race theory. That's a law. But yet we're going to at the same time bring back Willie Lynch laws. It's passed. And I think there's a place in Tennessee it's also passing too. So
yeah, it's going to start one place and keep all of going.
It works here. It works here. Let's bring it back.
That's what's gonna happen.
But we ain't our great grandfathers. It's gonna be a little different.
Exactly.
Sad but true.
Like that.
It's sad but true.
What'd you say, Nick? Go ahead.
Like you said, we are not our we fight back.
But here's the thing: when I talked about on the previous show how things are trying to be eliminated. What is trying to be totally eliminated. What is that? What does that sound?
Yeah, I hear you.
Is it me?
Yeah, you on the phone and listening to something. Yeah, it's Team Too Much. Yeah, you got to be 100% in, 100% in. What's your thoughts, AmberDee?
Yeah, I think it's very concerning, and it's a different day and time, and so things will turn out differently, I believe. But I think it's really up to the people in those states to go against that.
And here's what happens that I notice. We talk about it. We're like, you got to get out there. You got to vote. You have to handle your business. The problem is we as Black people are not getting out there until it's done. And then we want to undo it. How do you suggest we fix that? Anybody? Come on. I seen a whole who over your house knew that got in the screen. Listen, the audience. I seen the body go through the screen. They in the screen. I'm gonna need you to put a robe on. Well, hey, we was talking about Sierra. We talking about Sierra, so they gave y'all. Look, I ain't post no pictures because I ain't trying to pay for nothing. Go ahead, AmberDee. What you got? How do we fix it?
I feel like it's just like all things. It starts at home. I feel like voting wise, the Black community was really invigorated when Obama was running for president, and that's like the last time I can really remember the Black base being really motivated and invested in voting and just in politics in general. So I do feel like it's part of it is still having that representation, and then also like getting in with our young people and just teaching them the importance of voting, and not just for presidential elections, but more importantly, like your small local elections, because that's how this movement started. It started in these tiny county votes, and then the state votes, and then working its way up. So being there at the bottom and really having a good understanding of what's happening in your own community, right in your backyard, does matter, and it is important.
Go ahead, Nate. What you got?
I'm gonna need these folks to get out and vote when it's time to vote because that's just ridiculous.
But you
That's
got
like
they voting. That's the problem. Go ahead.
right,
Okay.
exactly. Nobody's voting. They're, our vote don't really count, and it's already like as we did see, it counted when we got Obama in not once but twice. So your vote actually does count. Ain't nothing predetermined. None of that. None of that. Like people like to say, well, if you knew about civics and politics and this and that, that's all predetermined. They was not trying to have being truthful. They was not trying to have a black man in the office as the president. Tell the truth, because truth be told, the very first president was black, but he only served 3 months term, and then George Washington came in. So a lot of people don't know that. If you know your history, then you would know. So they was not trying to have no black men in office. We made that possible by coming out and voting. So I don't want to hear that our vote don't count this and that. Man, get out there and vote. Period.
I see your passion. The audio is a little off, but we know you're passionate.
To speak on Amber's point, I think it's because of the redlining the votes, everything to do to suppress the votes, and us believing in the systems that it works, voting system works. That's a big problem and issue with it also. So you got these people believing it don't work at all, and then you try to get them out there, and then you see all the things put in your way to stop you, to suppress it and think it. But I mean, honestly, anyone here believe that the voting system really works?
I do. I do. And I'm going to. And see, we need to peer pressure you.
Oh, no. I go. My great grandfather. I'll tell you the story.
Okay,
My great grandfather.
Let me say this. I want to put this out here for the listening audience who may not know. And I heard Nick, and she gave y'all some history. That's why I was silent, so that you guys can even understand her through the distortion of the audio. Here's the deal. Who is spitting hawkers? What is happening? What is happening?
Hold on. I didn't know you could pick all that. I didn't know you could pick all that up. I'm at work in St. Louis. I got a roommate. I didn't know you could hear all of that. Hey, like,
Be quiet.
I got you brushing your teeth.
All right. Okay. Here, let's hit mute when you're not talking.
How do I do it?
Okay, I got you. Okay. Jesus, this is nuts. Okay. Most Black people that I see on the internet that's going off about this particular bill, House Bill, I got to give it to you, House Bill 999, okay, or the public post-secondary educational institutions. I know y'all can't remember all this stuff, but just hear me out. What is being displayed, because matter of fact, I think D.L. Hughley actually talked about it as well, where they're looking at getting rid of the Greek, your fraternities and sororities, getting rid of those during, somebody trying to sabotage me. Give me a second here, because I cannot. I got you. Just sit there. I cannot. Bind the devil. Loose here, Satan, in the name of Jesus. Okay. Now, the House Bill 999, a lot of Black people are looking at the Greek fraternity and sororities being eliminated. Yes, they'll be part of it, but it's all of them, the Asian groups, the Hispanic groups. And I want to put this out here. And what House Bill 999 does, we need Google for this. It's where it bans colleges from financially supporting these groups. Okay. And it's for all diversity, equity, inclusion of this is like critical race theory rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so what are we actually gonna do about it? Are we gonna sit there and wait? That's why I said we got to vote ahead of time when it's starting, when it's on the onset, and this information is out there. That's why I like D.L. Hughley. The information is out there, but we sit, and as we're sitting on it, it's like, okay, and then it gets passed by one legislation, and then it's already passed, and then we want to go with the outrage. This is here. It's here. And my thoughts are, get somebody who's diverse to go to these meetings. And even in your local, on the local level, go out there, hear what's going on so that you can spread the word, so that people can get out there ahead of time and then stop it from even happening or moving forward. Look, down there in Florida, DeSantis with Disney. Remember we talked about Disney. He had a problem with that. I'm like, can we like get together to say, okay, this is what's going on? Because I'm gonna tell you, the House passed the bill. In case y'all didn't know, last week, Monday, the House passed it. Come on, man, we got to do something. Come on, we just got to do something. And I want to say it again with this bill, and this is just my interpretation, what it actually forbids. It forbids the use of diversity, equity, and inclusion statements. That's what it is. It's like in schools, won't be taught there. It's like what Nate was talking about. We got to wake up. We got to wake up. And just as these words that we talked about prior, you're trying to eliminate what was and put in what's new and change the narrative and put in what's new. And then we'll be right back in slavery. We'll be right back in slavery. And then be like, oh, wait, what happened? Because we didn't vote. We didn't say anything. We didn't stand up and say, okay, something's got to give. We have to do something. Go ahead, AmberDee. I want AmberDee to make this comment.
Okay, so Kenyon Barone Chapman. Oh,
that was the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, I can tell he's a technical person. We got to get him on there. There you go.
Okay, so 100 Cherie Childcare of YouTube said elbow bump.
Yeah, we got to do what
This the emojis. Like I think she might have an iPhone.
We're not doing that. We're talking about the comment. It was just the elbow bump. I got what she wanted.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so Kenyon Barone Chapman of Facebook said, I think it's mostly about how informed people are or are not. Yes, and I feel like the decisions that are being made behind closed doors is because the issue is that we're not behind the closed doors. We're not in the decision-making space, and we're not going to continue to not be in the decision-making space unless we run and get elected and get appointed into those positions.
Go ahead with the next comment.
So Don Queener Jr. of Facebook said, sad thing that these youngsters are not prepared. No, they only want to be high. Yo, who's ready to get down?
Exactly. And he's right. All these young kids want to do nowadays is just get high. They don't care about nothing else. They disrespectful and they always high. It's just they don't care.
Okay, what's your thoughts, Nate?
All right. First of all, I vote. Quick story: I was with my great grandfather down in Mississippi, and a dude came up to him to ask, I hope I can depend on you for your vote. You know, I never did anything to you, nigger. And I'm just like sitting here like, whoa. He said this straight to my grandfather. My grandfather had to hold me back. I'm like 12. But, you know, he told me he would vote and stuff like that, and I never seen anything like that. But he told me it's important to vote. Here's the thing. All the distractions that we have. We never get a platform like I would like a deal. You can say, hey, in Ohio, we're voting this way. Hey, in Florida, we need you to vote this way because it would be better us. There's way too many distractions. You know, little Easy and little Spackety Spack are fighting. Let's put that on the news. There's too many distractions, and there's not someone saying, hey, we need you to vote like this. Mel, hey, we're all voting like this.
And you know what, though? Let me say this. They did have that where it's let's vote this way. We're going to go this way. I'm going to read this. 100 Cherie Childcare off of YouTube said, they care, I promise. And I feel her on that. And she also said, oh, no, not the babies. Now, I feel her on that. Now, back to what you were saying, Nate, about what? Because I got with her thing because I had Nick in my head and I'm like, no,
I feel there's too many distractions, and I feel
I got it.
I feel that okay.
I got it. Thank you so much for bringing that back. When it's like, okay, yes, this is what we're doing. We're going to vote this way. That's what I believe. Like Republicans do. This is who we're voting for. That's why I said on some shows before. I was like, if if the representative is this ink pen, all the Republicans are gonna say, okay, that's who we're going for. That's the Republican. Let's vote for the ink pen. We don't do that as Democrats, or we don't do that as independents. And that's where I am with my party. It's like, okay, yeah, let's go for it. Now, on a local level, and I'm just going to speak from my experience, I have to go for the person that's the right person for the position. That's what I do. So I guess that's where the split can occur, because here's what I see that happens. It only benefits you. Whose pocket is it benefiting? Who's, and this is me on a local. I'm acting like Nick the Voice right now. This benefits you, and we always got to vote for you, your family, your people, but you won't let anybody new in or somebody else in. And it's like, no, benefit me, until I die. And then you could go ahead and do what you want to do, where everything is benefiting you, but it's not benefiting me. Now, I'm speaking to the middle class now. How is it benefiting me? What's happening? So I'm voting for the person that's working for me. When I vote, I vote for how I can benefit. We have been born as humans to be selfish. And that is the truth. And it's like, it doesn't work for me. I'm at that place before, because this whole, let me do this for you, this is happening for you, blah, 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 blah. And then I'm the one that's losing, because you see the middle class is just diminishing. Go ahead. What you got? Wait, let's hear what Amber has to say. Write it down, man. You know we older. You see, I forgot stuff.
I mean, I think that definitely we need to like invigorate the base. Like, how do we invigorate young people and get them involved? And I do remember that Diddy did the Vote or Die campaign, and you know, that was kind of had like mixed reviews. And I feel like sometimes as Democrats, we're way too critical, and we just can't come together the way the Republicans come together. And when you had mentioned the ink pen, I said that is an excellent example, because when I saw that ink pen, I thought of Herschel Walker, and the Republicans were loyal behind her. That is his competency, his ability, his brain capacity is irrelevant. He is a Republican, and he is going to vote according to what we tell him, according to our party line. So he's for us. He's going to be an asset, and we are going to devoutly stick with this man, regardless of his qualifications. And I think the Democratic Party could be so much more successful if we could just see the bigger picture, basically.
Okay, just like what Nate was saying, to his point. And I get it. Go ahead, Nick, you want to weigh in?
That is a lovely way of thinking, but with the Democratic Party, the independents, and that will never happen. Like you said, it's always going to be a me thing. That will never happen. We will never be in agreement, as to one party. That'll never happen.
Okay, now to Amber's point, and I got you, Nate, I promise you. To Amber's point, yeah, we could, and you got to look at the bigger picture. And if you have somebody in there and you have people behind you, then you can be like, okay, maybe we can actually do this. It's like, all right, because you got to weigh, your pros and your cons. And if your pros outweigh your cons, you're like, okay, but let me tell you. Thank you, AmberDee. I didn't have to say nothing, but See, your community will find you. Your community will find you. All I did was pick up a pencil. You know what it is. Go ahead, Nate.
Give me a little wiggle room on this one, but I got a question.
All right.
I know. What is the highest selling basketball jersey ever of all time?
Jordan.
Anyone else?
Probably Jordan. Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's Yao Ming.
Oh,
not Yao Ming. Not Yao Ming. It's one of Jeremy Lin.
Oh,
you know why? You know why?
Why?
Because me and you are fighting over Jordan and Kobe, while everyone else is voting. Every Asian person is buying Jeremy Lin's. So So with your ink pen situation, there's too many choices, and we don't jump behind it. Just like you said, for me, if he voted for the poor person, for me. And that's exactly what we don't need. Us as a group has to say, okay, guess what? Jordan is better than LeBron. No. I don't care how you feel. It's not about how you feel. It's what we all said we all need.
But watch this. Now I like it. I love it. I love it. But watch this. If I see, okay, who's going to be our person? So that's why you have levels of voting.
I understand that.
Person is,
But
now guess what? I'm going for this one.
But we all have to go for that one, just like Herschel. We all have to. Everybody is buying Jeremy Lin's jersey because he's Asian and he played in NBA. So everyone, but he sold more jerseys and more merch than Michael Jordan, than LeBron. I don't know about LeBron James now, but I mean, he was the top seller of jerseys because there was no split. There was no about me. It was the one choice they had, and everyone voted for it. And if we don't say one choice, this is who we're voting for, this lighter, if we don't, I don't care how you feel about it. I don't smoke, but I want to vote for a lighter. Hey, we need you to vote for this lighter, Mel. I don't care what your personal feelings. We need you to vote for this lighter.
We need the person that's representing us in it. We need somebody on our team in there.
But we're all saying it's the lighter.
Okay.
I don't care what you think, Mel.
Okay. I got you. So
can I read the comment?
I'm looking at the practical. Go ahead. What you got?
Okay, so Sean McRae, forgive me if I mispronounce your last name, of Facebook said, seems like to me the Republicans unite easy because it seems like they unite behind hatred or fear. Exactly. I think that's such a good point. But as a perpetual optimist, I do believe, love and light outpower the darkness, but I do believe there is like a core darkness in the Republican community, and that's why it's so easy for them to unite in saying this is bad and we don't believe this. So it's easier for them to come together.
Okay. Anything else on that, lovely people? Let's talk about this real quick. Tiffany Haddish, y'all see her? Exactly. After her scandal with what's his name, Nick?
Aries Spears.
She allegedly, I need to roll that down the bottom, allegedly feels like she's been blacklisted from Hollywood. Remember, she was everywhere. And then I said, well, maybe they said she ain't ready.
No, I thought I saw not that long ago. There's a movie that she's supposed to be getting ready to start filming.
That's fine, but she was
not that. Yeah, it's been about a month ago. I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's looking like she's been blacklisted. Allegedly, she feels like she's been blacklisted in Hollywood after that scandal with those children. Go ahead. What you got, Nate?
Well, they only keep one of us in the spot at the time. So if she doesn't act up, they're going to put somebody else in the spot. You know who I've seen a lot of? Who was the dude in Creed? And it was in... he's in everything. No, the other one.
Jonathan. Is his name Jonathan? The new
It dude. He came out of nowhere. He's been in 8 prominent movies. He's been in Ant-Man, now that's out. He's been in Creed. He was in The Harder They Fall. He was in the last 3 years, he's been in 8 or 9 great movies. So he's the new It dude. So I mean, they got.
We needed a new It dude. You just saw Jordan. You saw Idris Elba. Like that's it. We tried to see the same people. You had Denzel Washington.
I understand that. I'm talking to your Tiffany. I'm talking to your
screen. Some new
you need to turn it down, horny. I'm speaking to your Haddish theory. There's only one at a time. There's only one at a time.
I don't think so.
Because I feel like there's Wanda Sykes, and then Sherry Shepherd, and
those are comedians.
Right, I'm saying as in comparison to Tiffany Haddish,
because Tiffany Haddish is a comedian.
Right, so there's multiple.
She was the new. Tiffany was the new,
she was.
And Wanda Sykes, all of them, those are seasoned. Tiffany was
right. I feel like she was blackballed, but I'm not against it either. It's just oh well.
Was she funny?
That's how I feel about it. I think she got blackballed. I think that anybody that was hesitant or were because it all comes down to money, we're this is bad publicity. She's becoming a liability, and they're we can just go find another Negro. So that's That's the way the breaks go sometimes.
That's what they just said.
Yeah.
That's what he just said. Interesting. So, how about the way that, back to viewer censorship, how about the way people feel about Jennifer Hudson and Common dating? Fans are
That
out.
ain't none of my business. Date on. People are just so concerned with shit that don't got nothing to do with them. That's not paying not now one of their bills or helping their health status. It's ridiculous. If they dating and if they really like each other and they're feeling each other and that's what they let them date. That's their business. That ain't mine.
Hey,
I got
she'll
too
never.
much going on with who I'm dating, like who I'm trying to figure out who I'm gonna be with or who I'm gonna date, or like my love life. I need to focus on my love life, just like
She'll never.
but
She'll never be in that Sierra dress, though. I bet you she'll never be in that Sierra dress.
Right. He ain't got
Full circle. Full circle.
full circle, right? I ain't even mad. Shots fired.
was she even at the party? I don't even think because I didn't see any pictures of her at the party. So they chose to post pictures of the more risque outfits.
I got you. All right. Now, what about Jussie Smollett?
Him still in jail, ain't he? You notice I said him. Him still in jail.
Well, here's the thing. They have there's a docuseries out for Jussie Smollett. And for those who don't remember, Rugal called him Juicy Smollett. Remember?
Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, Juicy Smollett. That's what he said. Yeah. Well, anyway, a reminder, because remember that was in news for a minute. Jussie Smollett was convicted on the hate crime hoax. Well, there's a docuseries out, and some people, it's mixed reviews on this docuseries because they feel like you're just bringing light to this, even though we already know distractions, just as somebody said in the comments. Don Quinter Jr. said distractions. So they got this docuseries out, and they feel like you're giving attention to to bad behavior, but the brothers are actually talking. And the brothers said in the docuseries, I saw a little smidget, so you guys check that out if you're interested. They were talking about how he told them he was going to make them celebrities, and they thought that they were auditioning for, like, how you pitch a film, and that's what they had a little segment to do, and this is what it was supposed to be. And it was supposed to go on his live stream only, not for the whole world. But y'all check that out and see what you see. I feel personally about these young men. I'm like, okay, we're giving light to these two guys. So now these celebrities, like they wanted to be, that they want to come over here and be celebrities. So are we giving them a platform to say, hey, now you can be a celebrity? Or are we still going like, listen, this was a hoax and it was not okay, but they're saying it wasn't their fault? Go ahead. They said when he cried, and when he cried, he got his accent. He said, I was so surprised. I said, he's nuts. Go ahead. What you got, AmberDee?
I'm not sure I believe the twins, the brothers. I just feel like it's just bringing attention to bad behavior, basically. And I feel like, especially what's going on with the topics we just discussed in voting, we don't have time for this nonsense. They can go sit down and shut up somewhere. Because there are so I definitely will not be watching that because it's just things and the way things are heading. Yeah, no, I don't think we should be giving any attention to hoaxes when there's actual hate crimes going on, real actual crimes.
Okay, well, let's move on to the SVB. Talked about this, the banking system, Silicon Valley banking, and our money. How do you guys feel about that?
Man, listen, these banks and these credit unions, they doing some shady mess, man, because ain't no way in the world that you can have a certain amount in your account and your account for every penny you spend and they holding like my bank, they holding stuff for 2 or 3 days. Okay, I got you, but I'm counting down to the penny of what I'm spending. But then when stuff comes through, something is always a negative. Oh, well, you didn't have enough money. The devil is a lie. I account for everything. So what are you talking about? So yeah, there's some shadiness to the banking system. Period. Point blank.
Exactly, Don Queen. I looked at the comment. Yes, 2008 again, recession, depression, all of that. Go ahead, Nate. Let's talk about Silicon Valley banking and all the U.S. banking systems. Go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Watch out! I think it's the setup for digital currency, and with digital currency, there is no hustle money. You're taxed on everything you make. You can't do your hair, somebody's hair in your kitchen anymore. It's gonna take away the dollar, and everything's digital. So it's complete and total control of your life. You don't understand how much control they'll have if they take that dollar away.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
You want to weigh in on this before I talk, AmberDee?
I just feel like it's going to circle back to like getting. I agree with Nathan, but it's going to get back into barter and trade for services and good, like on a small scale. But definitely think it's problematic, and it reminded me of Enron too, the Enron scandal.
Mm-hmm. You want to surmise the Enron scandal and refresh folks' memory?
Man, but I was pretty young when it happened, but basically there was a lot of fraud going on. There was a lot of fraud going on within this bank, and it was using like hedge funds and like very affluent, wealthy people's money for like fraud. And a lot of people lost a whole lot of money behind it. And then I feel like it was also kind of like low-key a pyramid scheme going on within the company. It was a lot of bad stuff.
Okay. Now, I want to just weigh in a little bit on this. When you're dealing with what happened there at that particular bank, it affects other banks. And a lot of people don't know. They're like, oh, what's that? Well, guess what? The smaller banks, it can affect you. What I saw, somebody, I can't remember which one of you guys just pointed on, talked about this part. Oh, Nick, here's the thing. When you have a bank, and I'm going to do it on a smaller scale, way smaller. So you give me $100 and then somebody comes in and they need to borrow. Well, I'm going to hold on to your money for 7 days or so because they need to borrow it for 5 days. So I'm going to loan them $50 out of your 100. I'm the middleman. And then once they pay it back, they have to pay interest. So guess what? I gained $10, but here's your money. I'm going to release it to you, but I still have some money here. So it just builds and builds and builds. And here's the problem also for this particular bank, let's say you get, I'm trying to think about doing this real quick. Hold on 1 second. So let's say I have your money. I gain interest. You get interest off your money. Let's say like $1 million off your money if you put so much in. And then I know the interest rate. I go to another bank and your interest might be 10,000. I go to another bank off of your money and I get 12,000 interest off of that. So now, boom, you got 10, I got 12, I gain 2 because I'm giving you 10. If that makes sense for my people, trying to hurry up and get it together. It affects us all. That's the point I'm making. This affects us all. I don't think that this is the only bank. I think it's like, okay, let's see what's really going on inside the banks of what's happening. You know what I mean? Come on. Now, I did see on one bank, can't remember which one it was, but you got to read the fine print when you go in and you're like, okay, this is my bank. I'm getting a checking account. And most of us just like, okay, I just need a bank to put my money in. Read that fine print because when you're dealing with like companies like this, I'm not saying this is this company, so I don't want to put that out there. But I read where if you have $1 million in your bank account, it'll say the insurance will pay up to $250,000. So if you're putting in $1 million, the insurance is only paying you $250,000. Now you have people that's like, oh, I don't even care because I don't have that amount. Well, let me tell you about your girl. I sat down and I'm writing, and I said, I wonder how much I paid in automobile insurance. Now, I looked at it because I'm a numbers girl. I checked. to see how much I paid. Now I've been driving for a long time, but once insurance was mandatory and it was against the law, so you had to have it. I did just from that time. $280,000 I have paid in automobile insurance. The what if? Okay. I have not gained anything. I didn't have to turn in and say, hey, pay me this. $250,000 I have paid into automobile insurance. Come on. So it does affect us all. And it's like, I never had it. You had it. You had that money. You just gave it to somebody else for the just in case factor. That's what it was. Oh, have you ever been in an accident? No, I haven't been in an accident, but you just gave them $280,000. But we can't save our own money. Shall I stop or shall I keep going?
Keep going. Keep going.
So just pay attention to your money. I heard Nate talk about the digital era, and yeah, that was it. Because remember, before some years back, they was talking about our money is going to be on a plastic card. I was like, no way, and here we are. And
debit cards and credit cards.
I have to see my money. I need to feel my money, because guess what? All you're doing is telling me I have this, and this could be nothing. I.e., how some people felt about like the Bitcoin. Remember that whole thing? They was like, well, it's nothing. It's just transaction. Well, that's just what the credit is. It's like, okay, you get a direct deposit. I'm using this and I'm giving this to this. Is it anything in there? Or are you just typing in the numbers?
Mm-hmm.
Give me my money. That's how I feel. Give me my money. I have an issue with Social Security. Why? Because that's our money. And guess what? You have a government that's telling you what to do with your money that you work. You earned it.
Exactly. And telling you that you can only work a second job, like work a job and make so much. And if you make over an allowed amount, then they want to snatch it back.
If you have it. What I'm talking about is you earned it.
Exactly.
When you were young, that money is yours, but now you have the government allocating it to what it needs to go to. And then when you need it, it's like, this is my money. I didn't choose to pay this.
Right.
We earned it. That's what I'm talking about. I'm like, this is earned money. I've been working since I was 15. Worked 2 jobs since 16. So it's like, come on, you earned it. And it's like, no, this is what we're going to do. You got to have some say so. Get out there and vote. That's the moral of the story. Vote, vote, vote. Now, TikTok. How many of you guys on TikTok?
I mean, I got an account, but I don't use it.
Y'all like TikTok? Be on there. So entertaining. Now, when 45 was on the scene, 45 had an issue with TikTok. We weren't paying attention to 45 because some of the stuff was nuts that he was saying, but he was telling you about what was going on regarding the security breach and all that other stuff.
Mr. Insurrectionist.
Huh?
I said, Mr. Insurrectionist.
Yeah, but let's look at this though. The TikTok, they have the parent company is owned by Asians. I'm just gonna say Asians because I don't know which. Chinese. So they're spying, breaching our security. And he said this before. I ain't saying go vote for him. I ain't saying that. Let's be clear. But what I'm saying is we got to pay attention. So now it's there again where President Biden, I believe he said that he was going to ban it here in the U.S., in the States, because of the security breach. And I think the parent company is ByteDance. So with the parent company being ByteDance, they have people who are journalists. They were hacking into their accounts, seeing where they were going, being followed. It was one young lady that was speaking. Can't remember which show it was on, but she actually said that, yes, her security was being breached by her IP address. A lot of people don't know, like when you log on the computers, they know right where it's coming from. We gotta know what's going on. And we're being thoroughly entertained, but at whose expense? Our own. It's our own. You want to go to the comment? Anybody?
So John Queener Jr. of Facebook said, "Teach me how's this different from the mafia?" Well, I think it's different from the mafia because that is the actual. So correct me if I'm wrong, but there's really not like private companies in China. The government has the right to take over whatever company gain whatever information they want from whoever, a private citizen or a company. So it's very much the government is a part of TikTok's ownership, and they can get as much information from TikTok as they want. So it's not the mafia, like it's the actual Chinese government.
Yeah, he's just saying, I'm using it as an analogy. Go ahead, Nate.
I would like to jump on my brother Don. It's like the mafia would stick you up in your face. These dudes are just behind the screen. You never see them. Give me the respect of holding a gun up to me. You know what I mean? I like my robbers to come up to me and hit me across the face or something and take it from me. Not being behind some screen and just steal and do everything about it. So that's the difference between the mafia. That's what I think done with like old school like me. If you're gonna rob me, come see me to rob me. Don't just be sitting on some screen and wipe me out because you know my IP address. That ain't gangster. That ain't gangster.
That's China though. US is gangster. Because listen, you see what's happening. This stuff is right in our face, but we've been distracted to your point at the beginning of the show. That's why I'm like giving you the hot topics and current events. Like, pay attention. If I have to grab you with this, everything I do, let me tell you something. It's intention. Shop Talk with Mel is all intentional. Let me grab you with this and let me give you a little bit of that. Pay attention to what's actually happening. And with that being said, let's pay attention to Pope Francis.
Who?
Exactly. He said who, but some others said, oh, the Pope. Pope Francis suggested, I got it across the bottom, of viewer and listeners' discretion advised, and content is alleged. Now, this is me gathering information, okay? Pope Francis suggests he'll review the Catholic Church vow of celibacy for priests. So the priest, he getting to the point where he's going to review it to say, okay, y'all can get down.
Yeah, but who they getting down with? Because you know a lot of them like to get down with that.
This is here. Listen to me before you go. Listen, that's why he's reviewing it. He's reviewing the celibacy for priests. Now I'm going to go with, what do you think? What's your thoughts on priests having wives? He who findeth
supposed to be a good thing. And you're gonna ordain all these other couples, you're gonna marry them off and then be like, oh no, I can't partake, or this, that, and other. And I think it leads to the path that it always goes to.
Do you think if they had never mind, go ahead, AmberDee, let me hear yours and then I'll go.
Yeah, I think that it is considering everything else that's going on with the Catholic Church, and also just the diminish of like religion, organized religion, and like I know the Catholic population is decreasing. This losing it's definitely hasn't had that stronghold in a couple decades now, basically compared to maybe 150, 200 years ago. I think it's a good thing to keep it more relevant and more welcoming. And I think that it'll be a good thing for the church overall.
Okay, go ahead, Nick. Now, what's your thoughts?
No, I was just saying, he's reviewing the celibacy thing, but then, there's a lot of them that are pedophiles. That's going to be.
You missed the whole question, though, because you're going that direction.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
that is.
They should have been. I don't understand why the church said that a priest cannot get married in the first place. They should have been able to have a wife.
Okay.
That was
according to the New York Post. I want to put this out here. Pope Francis has hinted that he will review the Roman Catholic Church's rule of priestly celibacy, describing it as an individual discipline rather than a contradiction to the church. I just wanted to put that out there. But go ahead. What were you going to say, AmberDee?
It's biblical. It is in the Bible. So that's where it came from. Or that's their interpretation of it. But obviously people have different interpretations of the Bible. And so that's why they said, oh, okay, if you're a priest, you have to be celibate. But that's where it came from.
Okay. What you got, Nate? I see you.
No comment. No. The Catholic Church is wanting to do things to get their numbers up again. I hope that it's common knowledge that the Catholic Church is the owner of the most real estate on the planet. And if we have control of the land. Now we need to get the people that we want on this land to control the land. So, I mean, it's a shakeup, but like church numbers are dwindling everywhere. But if I got all this land and I ain't got nobody to work it or be on it or whatever the case may be, that might be far, but that's the first thing that popped in my mind.
I like it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
You got anything, Nick? Nope. All right, AmberDee. What's your thoughts to what?
I've heard Nate's perspective on it. I would think that's more like population control, and I know a lot of really fundamentalist religious people are like, be marry and multiply and have a bunch of babies and stuff. But as we're operating in this modern world, and I feel like a lot of the recent decisions the Catholic Church has made in regards to like reproductive rights and women's rights and stuff like that, I feel like there's like a balance, because I'm not all the way convinced that the church's priority is just like numbers and people.
Okay.
Counterpoint.
Wait. Go ahead. What are you convinced of? What do you think it is, AmberDee?
Man, I think they're just trying to get their numbers up. I think that the Catholic Church is shrinking, and I think it's my personal prediction is going to continue to shrink. I feel like this is you're on a sinking ship and you've got a pail and you're trying to scoop the water out. It's a last ditch Hail Mary effort. To me, there's a level of desperation to it. I think it's because they want to maintain, like I said, that position. And if you look across the decades, it's been in steady decline. There was a period of time in world affairs where the Catholic Church was dominating basically the entire world, and it's been downhill ever since. And there's other religions, like I'm thinking of like Chinese monks and stuff, where it's a very, very tiny population. It's very specific. It's a sect practically, and they're very devout and very religious, and they take their beliefs very seriously, and they've been established for hundreds upon hundreds of years. And I feel like that's where the Catholic Church is heading. Like, you're no longer going to be this mega force on the world global stage, and they don't want to accept that there. And I feel like this is just resisting that inevitable decline.
Okay, go ahead, read the comment there, AmberDee, please.
Sorry. Okay, so Jonathan Mason of Facebook said the priests needed to be celibate so that there will be no emotional distractions from their call and purpose to their assessment. Yeah.
See, and that was what my thought was on it. So I feel like this whole thing where he's going to revisit and review, the Pope revisit and review it, is pretty much what Nate was saying. Now, when you say the decline, let's think back even, back in the day. Every time I went to a Catholic church, it was just a few people, but they were still, the big cathedrals were still functioning. Now you have Catholic churches who are so small that they all go to one. To our point, with a certain political party, they all come together. But I did notice with us melanated folk, we can have 5 people in the church and still will have our church and won't come together. Is it because of wanting that leadership? And I hope that Jonathan Mason is still on. Is it because you're in control of your particular congregation, not wanting to join one, and who's going to be in charge? Is that a thing?
It brings it back around to having one voice. You still buying Jordan's jersey, and I'm still buying LeBron's. I got my 7 people at my church. It's potato salad. It's potato salad.
All right, go ahead.
It's potato salad.
Go ahead.
Potato salad.
I got you.
I got my 7 members, and we're gonna stay our church because they're following my lead. Everyone wants to be a shepherd. No one knows how to be a sheep. And with in the religion aspect of it, the Catholics have been chasing Muslims for the longest, as in the number one religion. A lot of places won't. When they had the tsunami over there in China or wherever, they was like, hey, if you want to help, just drop water and rice on the beach. Don't land. We don't want you to land. We don't want you to bring your Bibles. We don't want your chicken or your beef, because they know that the Catholic agenda is about growth. And a lot of people don't understand there's more Muslims on this planet than there are anything else. So it's about being the shepherd other than the sheep. Now, us, we got a whole bunch of shepherd and very few sheep. And
Okay. Now, why do you think that is?
Because everybody run around here being woke all of a sudden now.
no, slavery. We were trained to be against you. Male, you light skinned, so you think you cute. Or you in a house. Everything reverts back. It reverts back. We are not wanted to like each other. We're not. We're the only people pitted against each other. You know why? Because we're the only people capable of making ourselves.
Okay. What you got? I like Nick. Nick, come on, let me hear what you got to say.
There's few sheep now because everybody is all of a sudden woke. They're woke. They're stepping away from religion and stepping away from God, and now all of a sudden it's the sun god and this and that, and yeah, y'all believe in everything the Bible says, but the Bible was written by man. But that book you reading is written by man too. So who's to say everything in that book that you read that you're so woke now is gospel truth? Like every book written, so especially every book written, there's something that's being passed down from generation to generation, yes, including the Bible. So, like, I'm not understanding. You believe in this book, but you don't believe in this book, the one that God actually had somebody right. That's where the sheep are. Everybody is woke. Everybody get away from religion and get away from God. Everybody believing inside a lot of and for Scientology, Illuminati, like just all this other stuff that's coming up now. I don't understand. And yeah, I keep hearing that feedback too.
Don't worry about that. Look, it was. I was like, what is that? I hear it too, though. Okay, let's go to the comment, AmberDee.
Okay, so 100 Cherie Childcare of YouTube said they didn't train me that way. Thank God. Who child? Who trained them? Because we ain't going for none of that.
Boom.
Now, back to what Nate was pretty much saying. That's it. It's what Nate said. Go ahead.
I hate to always be right. No, but
I think it's not just about willingness to be sheep. I think as a community, we have not been taught, or we've really gotten away from teaching and understanding the importance of like group economics and group think, and how you can achieve multitudes more when you can come together on one accord just behind one particular issue. And I think right now people have their own personal vested interest, and they'll say, oh, well, I actually disagree with this or that bit, or oh, I don't like that other person in the group, so I'm not going to support the group mission. And so it causes a lot of dissent because we don't understand the importance of coming together for one particular issue. Just because you're coming together for one issue doesn't mean you're going to agree on everything, or that you even need to agree on everything. We just need to come together to get this one thing done.
Okay,
and that's just something that's been lost.
Don Cleaner Jr. Facebook is not woke, just self-involved. Everything is about me.
Just to AmberDee's point, it's about me. Now, with the churches that have 5 people, and you said it's just one idea, who's going to lead the church? I'm using air quotes for the listening audience. how does one, when you say go to, let's all come together as one and not have it about me, me, me. But what if you have that one person that's leading it and another person who brought their church over does not agree with that? Or their doctrine, well, not, I won't say doctrine, their thought process, and it's like, okay, now my people are over here and I don't agree. Like, how does that work if you don't think the same? If you're not evenly yoked? Go ahead, Nate.
That's what it is, evenly yoked, and being able to say, hey, listen, it's not about me. It's about the greater good. I have to do this. It's just like team sports. Emmitt Smith never played defensive tackle just because he's a great athlete. Put him there. No, he has a position, a role to play. And for the greater good of the team, I have to humble myself. No one's humble. It's just like, oh, well, nope, I don't agree with that. So let's listen to him. Let's come over here with me. We have to humble ourselves. It's all comes way back around to your ink pen, Mel. Hold on. It all comes back around to your ink pen.
we got to figure something out. I'm like, we
yes,
got to.
We do.
Yes, we do. You're right. Everybody plays a position. The problem is everyone doesn't want to play the position. Nick was saying like everybody's woke, but let's look at where we are now. Let's look outside where you don't have enough employees because everybody wants to be the shepherd and not the sheep. So you don't have any workers, but all this entrepreneurship. And this is my company. This is my business. And here's where my issue is at. You want to start a company and then you want to get mad at the people, the consumers, because they're not supporting you and you have to work your company. You chose this. Sound like a staff meeting to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what are we doing here? So you chose this. You woke. This is what I'm going to do. But I can't find any workers. So get mad at the person that decided to support you. You're upset because you got to work because this is your dream. Yes, I didn't segue in. Your dream, and you want to get mad at the consumer who comes and you want it at the cost of the consumer because you can afford. Go ahead, Amber. What you got?
And I also feel like culturally, this is also like a manifestation of our devaluation of the sheep position. Because we have shepherds, we have everybody wants to be a shepherd, and then we have bad shepherds, and then we have shepherds that don't even care for or protect or value their sheep, the employees. So then you lose your sheep. Your sheep go off to a different shepherd, and then you're mad. So in the same way that everyone can't be a shepherd, if you are a shepherd, it is important that you actually protect your sheep, respect your sheep, have love for your sheep, and do what's in your sheep's best interest. So and then you can't be surprised when people don't want to be sheep, when in our culture, being a sheep is a pretty shitty position.
Okay, go. Not Amber. Nick, go ahead and read the comment for me.
Jonathan Mason on Facebook said, I think it ties into the inability to accept defeat or knowing that my season to lead is over. So instead of merging with someone else, I'll continue with the 5 and cloak it under the banner of believing that God will multiply.
Go ahead, Pastor Mason. Go ahead. Go ahead, AmberDee. What you got?
You hit the mute again.
Look, she done got excited. Go ahead, shout.
Oh, sorry. I feel like that was a word. It was, basically, I feel like, again, with the whole sheep versus shepherd, it's a lot of ego, and it's like you can, again, when you don't have respect for different positions, it's like, well, the only respectable position is to be the leader. And I don't have respect, or there is no respect with being, secretary or, holding different positions because we're only valuing one position.
Okay. What you got, Nate?
I agree with him wholeheartedly. Tell me where his book come out. Tell me what church he go to.
He goes to his own church. How about that? That I know. How about that? He could go ahead and put it in there. Okay. So to his point, I want you guys, let's go ahead, read that comment.
So 100 Sherry Childcare of YouTube said buffering, hydrate, sanitizer, elbow bump, socialist, wash hands, elbow cough.
Okay. To the staff meeting, period. And then here's the last one. Nate, you want to read this one? Go ahead, Nick.
Don Queener Jr. Facebook says, "Sorry, I'm a shepherd. Everybody around me gonna eat." If only everybody thought that way.
But here's the thing, though. If he's a shepherd and everybody's a shepherd, who's the sheep? To our point.
Exactly. That's why I like Gorilla so much. There's a silverback who's in charge of everything. His responsibility is everyone. So they follow him. If he can't fight off other ones or this, that, and other, then they follow that person. There's a system involved. But us just self-proclaiming, you know what I mean? There's Sean.
Okay. Go ahead, Nick. You want to read this comment?
Yeah, Sean McCray at Facebook said, "Everybody that thinks they are a shepherd isn't a shepherd. They be sheep that know a couple extra big words."
Okay. All right. We know we are coming to the close of the show. And what I want to do is I'm going to let you guys know now. Today's topic is viewer censorship. I spelled it the way I wanted to with the S for the sensitivity. Okay, so I put it there. You know, I'll be making up a word in a minute. So don't think, oh man, what the heck is going on? What you got? Boom. It's all good. But today's footnote: censorship reflects a society's lack of confidence in itself. And that's from Potter Stewart. And I agree. So lovely people, be sure to, you know what? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Join the YouTube channel. It's going below, and it is at Shop Talk with Mel. I'm on, I told you, TikTok, Shop Talk with Mel. All socials at Shop Talk with Mel. But I want us to get back into listening. So on your favorite podcast, make sure you check us out. Shop Talk, one word, with Mel. Okay? On your favorite podcast, because with this whole viewer censorship thing going on, and I spelled it with S-E-N for sensitivity. Okay, that's why I put it that way. I did it intentionally. But with all this going on, you know, you had the whole cancel culture. Let's just change the channel. If you don't like it, you don't like it. And it's interesting how we'll look at people and we'll judge them, and we project how we feel and how we would feel onto someone else. But to Nick and Amber's point earlier in the show, if you're a public figure, expect to be judged publicly. And I want to thank our guest that came on the show today. We got to give it up to our boy, Nate Dogg, in the building. So let's give him. Thank you for joining us. And if you would like to be part of the panel, easy peasy, shoot your girl an email or an inbox on any of the social sites, Shop Talk with Mel. I'll get back with you. We'll get your information. And you too can join in and Shop Talk with us. All right, lovely people. Oh, you know what? Let me get this out here. I just saw it. Correction. Jonathan Mason of Facebook. I am a bishop in the Lord's Church, Doctor of Divinity and Philosophy of Counseling, and I pastor Greater Works Cathedral in Indianapolis, Indiana. Thank you so much. Oh, let's go ahead with it, okay? My book will be released somewhere in the fourth quarter of this year. Thank you all for allowing me to share. There you go. Nate, totally appreciate it, and I stand corrected. I just hollered out Pastor Jonathan Mason Bishop. Let me put some respect on his name.
Hey,
I don't want no problems, okay? All right, lovely people, that is my time. I thoroughly enjoyed you as I do each and every single Saturday. Find you, embrace you, most importantly, always, always love you. Until next week, people, you know what it is. 1, 2, 3.
Shop Talk.
I need to
One day,
hear that.